My name is Joaquin Zihuatanejo. This poem happened to me during my 10th December. So to really do it honor, I have to become before your very eyes my 10-year-old self. So allow me to transform into my 10-year-old self for you. But before I do, I just want to make sure everyone understands every word of the poem. There's a little bit of Spanish in it. So when you hear the phrase, "Cállate, estúpidos," what that means is, please be quiet, my darling little troublemakers. Okay, no, I'll be honest. It means shut up, idiots. Now that's not me talking to you. No, that's mean. I would never say that. That's my grandmother in the poem talking to me and all of my family because we were a bunch of idiots who needed to shut up a lot more than we did. So this poem is called December. And now, I'll turn into my 10-year-old self for you. My grandmother's name is Juanita. My grandmother is miraculous. You don't know this? But in my culture, it's believed anyone named Juan or Juanita can perform miracles. It has everything to do with a small brown peasant named Juan Diego, who witnessed a miracle. He saw flowers grow on a rocky hill where none had grown before. He gathered these flowers in a mat, which were then transformed into an inexplicable image. Then he spoke to the Mother of God. Ever since this small brown peasant did this, his name has become something sacred. His name has become something not to be taken lightly. My grandmother Juanita is sacred. My grandmother Juanita is someone not to be taken lightly. I saw with my own eyes my grandmother perform one such miracle. Toda la familia was gathered at my grandmother's house for a Christmas feast. The adults were seated at the adult table. The children were seated at the children's table. The in-betweens were seated at the in-between table. It was from one such in-between table that I witnessed the miracle. After a Dallas Cowboys loss to the hated Washington Redskins, my family was seated, hungry, and angry when my grandmother delivered the most tragic news that can be delivered at a gathering of 40 hungry Mexicans. She said, "Cállate, estúpidos! Cállate, estúpidos! Listen, I have some bad news. I placed my faith in Tío Jose. He was to watch the pot cooking the tamales. That pot he was to watch was left on high heat too long. Mira, do not hold this against Tío Jose. He cannot help the fact that he is estúpido. It was an accident. Y todos los tamales have been ruined. Curses filled the air. Fists were clenched. Knives were drawn. My grandmother's dining room, living room, and breakfast nook were going to be the site of the bloodiest battle in the history of tamale warfare. Believe me, if you've never been in a room with 40 hungry Mexicans and no tamales, then you've never felt the utter and total fear of impending doom. Then, my grandmother's voice rose above the tumult and crashed down on us like waves. She said, "Cállate, estúpidos! Cállate, estúpidos! Listen. There are 40 hungry Mexicans here. Y no tamales, pero I can feed you all." Then, she took the phone in her hand and untangled it from the tangled cord that enveloped it, that protected it, that held it together the way she enveloped us, protected us, held us together. Then, with this phone cradled gently in her hand, she called Domino's Pizza. Ah, blessed are those small miracles that just might save the world.